more than 40 boats making up the International Aid Flotilla now approaching Gaza. The Israeli military has previously raided vessels bound for the Strip. Activists in the fleet are aiming to break Israel's siege on Gaza. Israel says its naval forces are on standby to intercept and seize the vessels. Nour is in Jordan's capital, Amman. Now, she's there because the Israeli government's banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and in the occupied West Bank. So, Nour, we're getting reports that apparently there are vessels that are approaching the flotilla as it's now in what's known as this high-risk zone. Are you hearing anything from your side, given the fact that we know this is an area where Israeli boats have approached previous flotillas?
Well, we're monitoring very closely, Rob, if there are any new lines from the Israeli media or the Israeli army for that matter, but so far nothing. And let's just remind our viewers that this is partly because there is a Yom Kippur, a Jewish holiday, where all of this activity, where even media coverage is stopped. So it's a bit opportune for these developments to be happening in a sort of a media blackout in Israel. Of course, we know that the Israeli army, the Israeli Minister of Defense, have accused the flotilla of being Hamas. They've launched a public relations campaign, really, to accuse all those involved from all those nationalities of being Hamas sympathizers, of refusing their offer to take in the humanitarian assistance that is carried, and Israel insisting that the blockade it is imposing on Gaza is a legal, lawful blockade. Of course, we know that the International Court of Justice has rejected that on several occasions and has ordered Israel to lift that siege on Gaza, to stop weaponizing food and humanitarian assistance, which is exactly the point that those participating in the flotilla are trying to do, to break that siege, to allow at least that symbolic gesture of humanitarian assistance to enter without Israeli control or objection, the kind of control that even extends to, peanut butter cookies or paste that is given to severely malnourished children who are now facing death by starvation, as we've been hearing from the United Nations over the past week or so.
Nour, I'm just looking at some of the lines we're getting in. I understand there's a report ostensibly from the captain of the Alma ship. This is the ship that lost communication just recently within the Steadfastness fleet. He's saying 4 sea mines are within close range of the fleet. Now, that's the only information we've got on that, so we're obviously trying to check out other sources. The ship Alma warns the rest of the Steadfastness fleet ships of the presence of 4 sea mines near its path. This is not the first time there has been an attempt to get a flotilla towards Gaza. Israel has taken action in the past. Just remind us of the kind of action that Israel has taken when these boats have made their way towards Gaza.
Well, the first such violent incident, if you will, happened with the Avi Marmara almost 20 years ago, and actually several people were killed in that Israeli assault on that flotilla. And in the past year, there have been several attempts by several flotillas from solidarity activists to enter the territorial waters of Gaza, not of Israel. They were intercepted by the Israeli army. All those on board the ships were detained, including, for example, prominent activists like Greta Thunberg of Sweden, who was detained. Many of the activists were made to sign unprecedented forms of expulsion from Israel for up to 99 years, basically a lifetime ban on entry to Israel. Again, even though none of these activists were trying to enter Israel, what they were trying to do is enter Gaza, which is not part of Israel. In fact, it is recognized to be under Israeli occupation, but certainly not part of that country's sovereign territory. So there have been several, at least 2 incidents in the past, in less than a year, where the Israeli army took control of the ship, brought it to Ashdod, detained the crew, and it took several days in some instances for the lawyers to be able to secure the release of the activists aboard those ships and get them back home. They reported being treated quite badly, being separated from one another, denied access to the outside world, and made to watch, in some instances, videos of the October 7 attacks. Certainly, it was material for domestic consumption because the Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir, regarded these flotilla attempts as an assault on Israel and wanted to give them the treatment of Palestinian prisoners, which we know from repeated international reports are subjected to torture, to mistreatment, and to even starvation. They didn't endure those conditions, but certainly their experience, was neither present nor short-lived.
Yeah, no, thank you very much indeed, Nour Odeh there in Amman. I just have a brief update for you from the Steadfastness fleet, which is one of the flotillas that is heading towards Gaza at the moment. The flotilla organisers of the Steadfastness flotilla say, quote, "We have declared a state of emergency. We expect the Israeli Navy to intercept the flotilla's ships within the hour." This is clearly a breaking story. We're going to give you more details on it as we get them.
Don't miss out, get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.